have been a pioneer in the field of diabetic foot care in many aspects, So, diabetic foot care is there and people are knowing about it for long, but your contribution has been massive into this field. And you started a movement called I Prevent Amputation, which is called IPA. So what is your motivation? What motivated to get you into this? And you didn't go into general diabetology, you focused on this area. And,
So initially when I went to US, I went into diabetology. And there when I was in Bethesda Deaconess Hospital, I used to see that all patients coming into diabetes department,
Right.
they used to first go to the podiatry department. The government over there, they send it to the podiatry department to get the feet checked up for all new diabetic patients in US. And 2 pairs of shoes are given to all patients by the government free of cost.
Oh,
So one day I asked the nurse over there that what is podiatry. So she told me that it was the adjacent building in Deaconess Hospital, and that's one of the biggest diabetes center. So they have the very big podiatry department. So they used to go over there. So there I went one day with the sister. She took me for the rounds. We saw the wound care department, biomechanical offloading gait analysis department, and subsequently extensive wound repair department was there in the podiatry unit. So that inquisited me that we should enter into this field, because I knew that podiatry was not prevalent in India. And when I looked at the data of diabetic patients in our country, it was in 2001 also it was hugely high, something around 34-35 million people were suffering with diabetes at that time in India. Now we are at about 77 to 80 million people in our country suffering with diabetes.
okay.
So I called Dr. D.K. Hajra, who was my godfather and head of department of medicine from SN Medical College, Agra. One day I just called him and I asked him that, sir, I came to know about podiatry. So this is one department which is very niche over here. So he said, if you plan to come back to India, get into podiatry, or if you want to stay in US, then get into medicine only. Because already podiatry was at a very developed branch in US.
Right.
So that made me that I had a plan that to come back to India. So that's how I gave one examination. It was a part of USMLE only. And then podiatry residency examination is there. So within next 2 months or 3 months, I cleared that. And then I shifted myself to podiatry. So that's how I entered into this medicine of podiatry. And then when I came back, we all knew one day, one of the conferences, I was sitting in Detroit. And one of my co-members, vice president of Indian Podiatry Association now, he was in Ohio, Lima. And he was my good friend, and he belongs from Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
He's been in US for about 20-22 years now. That time it was about 4-5 years he was in US. So he met me, we together, and we were sitting at a one poolside in the hotel at the one of the evenings of the conferences.
Right.
And we were just talking to each other. So I asked him, what's your plan? So he said, I wanted to do something for my country.
Oh.
Ravi Chemically.
Uh-huh.
I said, same is with me. I also want to do that. So he asked me whether you want to go back to India or you want to stay in US. I said, I have a plan to go back to India. And I'm working in podiatry. He was in infectious disease.
Oh.
And he was also doing wound care. He has 6 units of hyperbaric.
Oh.
So that was the first day we thought of developing a society for the Indian doctors in podiatry.
Oh.
And that was the first day the seed of Indian Podiatry Association was born.
So when was this year?
This was in December of 2000. 2000.
Oh.
2000, December.
Almost 23 years.
Yes, almost 23 years back. And then it took me about 1 year more to complete my fellowships and residency, and then 2001 I came back to India. Then when I came back, me and Ravi, we used to talk every day. Even in US, we used to talk every day. And we made a lot of plans how we have to go ahead. And then we consulted a chartered accountant over here. and we wanted to get Indian Podiatry Association like
Okay.
that. So get the name podiatry, we need to have 10 members from 10 states, minimum members from 10 states of the country to get the name Indian registered. Otherwise, it was we can have Podiatry Association, Podiatry Society, or we were thinking
But
of
you can't add Indian Podiatry.
yes, Indian name. You need to have members from 10 states in any society, any registration, in
That's
any
an
registration.
information.
Yes, that was at that time. Now it is about 16. Now, if you want to get any society or any association registered with the name Indian, you need 16 state members.
Okay.
So it was very great difficulty. I had to work something around, talk to my juniors, seniors, doctors I knew, and getting members from 10 states took me about 3 to 4 years. And then also the members should have some inclination about foot care,
Right.
diabetes and foot care. So we had orthopedics, 2 plastic surgeons, 3 or 4 general surgeons. So like that we got people from 10 states, and 2009 we got the registration done.
Oh.
Okay. So that's how the association grew. And you'll be proud, Mr. Sandeep, to know this, that we had initially about 14 members. With 14 members, we started this society. And out of 14, 13 members are still with us.
Oh.
And one doctor, Dr. J.K. Sharma, he expired
Oh.
just before COVID in 2000, not before, just before COVID, about 2 years back, 2016 he expired.
Okay.
And still 13 members are our core group members. So none of the members have left the society. Okay. So like that. And then we started making state chapters. Tamil Nadu was the first state chapters we launched in 2013.
Okay.
And then the journey started. Then Karnataka was launched. Then Maharashtra was launched. Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh chapter. Chhattisgarh chapter we launched in the middle of the COVID,
Oh.
when only nobody was allowed to get out of the house during the first wave.
Right.
And during that time, only 2 doctors, Dr. Sunil Kalda and Dr. Raka Shore, they went to the governor's house in Raipur, and madam was there. So madam inaugurated that, and more than 500 doctors were online on that webinar, on the online launch. So during the middle of the COVID. So that showed that Chhattisgarh people were so aggressive to launch this chapter and get all the doctors connected.
Really nice.
Then Punjab chapter was also launched just at the end of the COVID as we finished, and we had a big meeting in Amritsar where something around 250 doctors got connected. And then Tamil Nadu, and after Tamil Nadu we had this Telangana and Andhra Pradesh chapter. Now we have Kerala and Calcutta. Both we are going to launch by April or May this year. So 2 more chapters are going to be connected. So this shows that a lot of people are getting interested into diabetic foot. When we started this association and till now, I think 40% of our members are physicians and diabetologists.
Okay.
Out of this 40% of these members who became IPA life members, I think more than 400 members out of them are fully practicing as a diabetic foot specialist in their respective cities. So that's a great achievement for us, that people being a physician, a doctor being a physician, where somebody thinks that diabetic foot is surgeon's dilemma,
Right.
or the patient will go to surgeon or orthopedic surgeon. No, the patients are first attached to the physician
Right.
or a diabetologist, and he should be the first doctor to deal into podiatry. He should know what type, with sugar control, if a patient has some injury, they should be able to do some dressings. They should know what type of dressings to use, how these ulcers can be prevented from getting into the whole big cycle of infection, osteomyelitis, and sometimes that leads to amputation. So we should be able to identify, doctors should be able to identify these patients. So these are very important things. We under Indian Podiatry Association also have general surgeons mainly from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. In last 5-6 years, we have identified doctors, general surgeons from smaller towns and gave them training and gave them inclination of diabetic foot care. And now we are proud that we have more than 25 doctors like that who have left general surgery. They don't do gallbladder, they don't do hernia. Well, once a while they can do it, but they are fully fledged as a diabetic foot center. They have developed their diabetic foot center. One doctor in Punjab has made a branch, a whole hospital. He is only MBBS. He has made a whole diabetic foot Ludhiana. He is on the Ludhiana and Firozpur road. And he is MBBS only. And he has made something around 30-40 bedded hospital of only diabetic foot hospital. There's one doctor near to Chennai in a very smaller town, Dr. Dr.A. He is fully developed into a diabetic foot specialist. He is only MBBS there. He is doing lot of very good things for dressings, offloading. He is doing lot of public awareness camps. He goes to smaller villages and do public awareness camps and education. He's doing for the society, for the population. Diabetic population is doing lot of education programs, weight slides, and giving them education how to take care of the feet. And his center is also growing very well. Similarly, we have members in Hyderabad, Telangana, Vijayawada, Guntur. We have one doctor who is fully into diabetic foot care. In Surat, we have about 2 doctors. They are fully into diabetic foot care. We have one doctor in Raipur. He is fully developed into diabetic foot center. So like that, the association is growing. Along with that, the members are also growing.